Good morning, my student. Okay, I'm Mr. Mu'taz Said. Okay, the biology teacher. Will talk about lesson two. Okay, from senior three. Lesson two. It's a movement in the living. Complete our lesson movement in living organism. Okay, as we know that movement is a phenomena which distinguish living organism, and the living organism has solve movement, and they can respond to external stimuli. Types of movement in the living. Okay, we have three types. Number one is continuous movement inside each cell for its biotic activity, such as cytoplasmic streaming. Also, we have positional movement of some organs, such as peristalsis in vertebra, okay, intestine, and the movement of insectivorous plant leaves. Number three, movement of organisms from one place to another place in searching of food or for meetings. This type of movement is restricted to animals. What's the importance of a skeleton for the occurrence of movement? An animal can't attain balance or move unless it possesses a solid support to which muscles are attached. Such kind of support may be external, as in the arthropods, or internal, as in vertebrates. This is in the skeleton. Internal skeleton may be cartilaginous, as in cartilaginous fish, or bony, as in bony fish. Whatever the kind of skeleton consists of segments attached to each other by joint to facilitate movement. First, movement in plants. Leaves of some plants are affected by touch. When the leaflet of mimosa are touched, they collapse in successive order, followed by petioles. This movement is response to touch. Okay, the leaves of this plant and some leguminous plants partially close during darkens, returning back to their original position in the light. So we can say that through the succession of light on the dark, movement of the leaf, which is similar to waking and sleeping, occurs, and so these movements, known as sleeping movement, also studied tropism, which is response of different parts of the plant to light, humidity, and gravity to the difference in growth rate resulting from the effect of due to auxins. Number one, we have haptotropism. It's a pulling movement in trials in beer. One special type of movement is a haptotropism, which is seen in the trials of beer. The dendrile raises itself into the air and it's likely to make contact with the solid objects. Immediately twines closely around the object for few turns spiral form. Its length decreases or plant stem above the support and go vertically. Dendrile become thickened, lay down considerable amount of mechanical tissue. If the dendrile doesn't meet support during its twinning movements, it will wilt and die. The twinning of the dendrile around the support is due to slow growth in the side in contact with the support and accelerated growth in the far side. This leads to elongation of the far side and so the dendrile twins around the support. Pulling roots, where like the combs and the bulbs have pulling roots below them by contracting. Of these roots, the comb or bulb is pulled downward to suitable level in the soil. Subterranean storing stem remain at suitable distance from the soil surface by the help of these pulling roots, which support the aerial parts against the effects. We have also cytoplasmic streaming. One of the main characteristics of the living cytoplasm, its continuous rotation inside the cells, is shown examining Gelodia leaf cell, which is aquatic plant under the high power of microscope. We can see the cytoplasm forming thin layer, thin lining the cell wall, and streaming in rotational movement in one direction. This movement is indicated by this movement of chloroplast embedded in the cytoplasm. Second, movement in man, looking for and your hand while turning over this page, or your leg. While walking on your way to school, you will find that the movement depends on three systems, which are skeletal system, support the movement of limbs, muscular system for contraction, relaxation of muscles that move the limbs. Also, we have nervous system, which gives the order to muscles to contract and relax. Number one, muscular system. The muscular system is a group of a body muscles by which different parts of the body can move. The unit of structure of muscular system, it's a muscle. The muscle consists of muscular tissue, okay, and usually known as flesh. The number of muscles in man is about 620 muscles, or may be increased. Function of muscles. Muscles are characterized generally by being filamentous and have the ability to contract and relaxation. Muscle contraction and bottom perform the function. Number one, movement, and includes the change in position of certain organs in relation to other parts of the body. Number two, transportation from one place to another, continuous movement of blood inside the blood vessels, and to maintain normal blood pressure inside the blood vessels through the contraction and of the involuntary smooth muscle in the wall of the blood vessels, and also maintain body posture is either in sitting or standing position, especially by the muscles of neck, trunk, and lower limb. What are the structure of muscle fiber? Each muscle fiber consists of the living matter, cytoplasm, which is called in case of muscle fiber sarcoplasm, the cell membrane, and it's called sarcolemma. The muscle fiber are collected in the groups called muscle bundle, which is surrounded by a membrane called perimysium. Each myofibril contain alternating dark and light band or discs, which gives the muscle fiber striated appearance. Light band called I band, bisected by dark line called Z line, and formed of thin protein filament called actin. And the dark band is called also A band, and bisected by light area called H zone, and formed of another thick protein filament called mucin. The distance between each successive to Z line is called sarcomere. This pattern of striation is present in the skeletal muscles and cardiac muscles. Hence, they are called striated muscles. Okay, cardiac muscle, skeletal muscle called striated muscles. This pattern not present in the smooth muscle, so they are called unstriated muscles. Muscle contraction. Three main systems coordinate together to perform proper different body movements are skeletal system. Skeletal system provides suitable site connection of muscle and to support the moving limbs. Joint play an important role in the movement. Number two, nervous system, which gives the order for muscle in the form of nerve impulses to contract and relax. The muscular system responsible for movement. Most of the body muscle are under the control of will and called voluntary muscles. Skeletal striated muscles. Also, other muscles are not under the control of the will and called involuntary muscles, like the cardiac and the smooth muscles. Mechanism of the muscle contraction. Okay, the theory of sliding filaments. The theory of filaments, okay, by sliding the filament of actin over the filament of myosin. Okay, first we'll talk the motor unit. Okay, motor unit is the unit of function of skeletal muscle. The muscle contraction is summation of all motor units forming the muscle. Each motor unit consists of a group of muscle fiber and the nerve fiber supplying them. As the nerve fiber enter the muscle, it divides into large number of branches which supply a group of muscle fiber from 5 to 100. Each terminal branch attached to one muscle fiber at a place called motor end plate. And the point of connection is called neuromuscular junction. Muscle fatigue. Repeated rapid contraction of muscle leads to its fatigue as a result of inability of the blood to supply the muscle rapidly with the oxygen needed for respiration and the energy production. According for that, the muscle convert glycogen to glucose, which is oxidized anaerobically, okay, anaerobic in the absence of oxygen to produce rapid energy to give the chance for the muscle to contract. Continuous anaerobic respiration leads to the accumulation of lactic acid, and the lactic acid causes muscle fatigue, and accordingly to the subject stop moving to give the chance for the muscle to be supplied by enough amount of oxygen to perform aerobic cellular respiration, which produces a large amount of energy compared with that of anaerobic respiration. Thank you, my students. This is lesson 1. Okay, this is lesson 2, introduced by Mr. Mu'taz Said. Okay, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.